So what I have done, I have taken a update strategy transformation now between my source and target. So now what I'll do, I'll go to my update strategy, double click, port section. You can see if you want, you can add additional ports. There is no restriction. Coming to properties section, we have something called as update strategy expression. By default, it will be 0. So in this update strategy expression, I can pass the values, either numeric values 0, 1, 2, 3. 0 means I'm saying insert the records. 1 means update the records. 2 means delete the records. 3 means reject the records. So either I can pass the numeric values or the keywords. If you want to insert the records, I can say dd underscore insert, update dd underscore update. 2 means dd underscore delete. 3 means dd underscore reject. I can either use the numeric values or the keywords. Here dd stands for data driver. Okay, so if I say, so now we can use this 0 also, no issues. I'll just keep it 0. I won't make any changes. I'll save this. My mapping is valid. I'll go to my session. I will refresh my mapping. If I go and check my properties section now, treat source rows as it should be updated to data driven. In case if it is not done, you have to make it data driven. When I select data driven, then the rows will be treated as per the logic in my update strategy. Okay, and in my mapping level, so I can select insert, delete also, and either of this, update as update, update as insert, update as insert. Since you have already selected insert and delete, so I can select update as update. So insert, update, delete, all three permissions I am giving on the target level. And how it should go for insert, update or delete, that logic I have given in my update strategy. So as of now, my update strategy is saying for all records it's saying 0, that is dd insert. Just go for insert. Okay, I will save this. Let me truncate the table now just to show you guys it is inserting a fresh version. Okay, 15 records inserted. If I go and check my target table, all old 30 records were deleted and 15 records inserted. Instead of using 0, I can say dd insert also. Validate, it's correct. Apply, okay. Save, refresh your mapping, save and run. One second, guys. Let me rename it. Okay. So now also it inserted with dd insert keyword. Okay. Likewise, if I want to delete the records now, I will say here, so you can use the numeric values, but to make it more readable, better you guys use the keywords, so it will be easy to understand for anyone else also. Now I'll say dd delete, apply, okay. So if the records already exist, they will be deleted. So what I'm trying to do, I have this is my source emp data. The same data is already loaded to my target. So I'm saying delete. If the records already exist with the same employee number, so it will delete it now. So if I run it, in records, okay, it is taken from source, loaded to target. everything got deleted. Okay, so what else? Let me insert it back, then I can show you update. Insert, uh, save, refresh, and start the workflow. Records are inserted back now with DD insert. Now assume like I want to update. In my source, Alan was manager. Sorry, in my target, employee Alan's job description is manager. Assume like I want to change it back to salesman. So in my source, I will change it to salesman now. Okay. So in source it is salesman. In my target is manager. So his promotion was remote. So he again his job description is salesman. So I want to update this is record in my target table. So what I'll do then, here I will say update. I will save this, refresh my mapping, start the workflow. Done. So if I go and check, oh, what happened? What did he update? I was saying it has update. Is there? Got deleted. Session log. That update. Acha, I have selected truncate option. Let me remove the truncate. It got deleted everything. So let me reinsert the data first. I had given truncate option, so it deleted the data. Insert. Okay, update. Records are inserted to my target. So my source and target are same. So let me change one of the source record. Again, this employee to manager committed. So now for only one employee, Alan, the job description is different from source to target. So if I want to update it, if I just run this workflow, oh shit, it will again add. Since it was DD insert, it will add another 14 records. So let me now change it to update. Okay, if you see, sorry, where is it here? The record has been changed to manager now. So he was manager here, so we just updated that got updated here. So with these keywords, we can use insert, update, delete, or dd underscore reject is also there. So it will reject the records. If I say dd underscore reject, so my record count is now 30 in my target table. If I rerun my workflow, none of the new records will be inserted. All will be rejected. See, none of them went to target table. they went to the rejected rows count. So here we have an option. Whenever you do a reject, forward rejected rows. Whether you want to forward those rejected rows. One second, guys. Yeah. If you want to forward the rejected rows to the next level of your pipeline, you can enable this property. Since this was enabled, all those rejected records still went to the target that is in the rejected rows column. They were not inserted to my target, but they went into my rejected rows. If you want to see that, we have something called reject file directory also in our target. For each target, this reject file directory will also be created. This will be the default path. Someone is not in mute. Okay. So in this path, if there are any records rejected, they will be stored in this particular path. Okay. So that path is this reject file directory. PM bad file directory points to your location, that is Informatica 9.6.1 server infoshed. Here we have something called bad files. Okay. So what was the file created with name? My target March 2021 bad. So this one. So all those records came here. It will keep on appending. Okay. So if you don't want those rejected records to move forward, you can disable forward rejection properties, then they won't go. So they will be stopped in your update strategy only. Now, I told you that using update strategy, I can set the incoming rows for insert, delete, update. So I can say few records should go for insert, few records should go for update. How can I do it? Means using some condition here. For example, like I can use some conditions like if department number equals to 10, then only do dd insert, otherwise reject those records. Then what happens here, for only those records with department 10 will be inserted, others will be rejected. So if I say okay, save it, let me delete the target table now. So to show you guys one that it inserts only records with department 10. Okay, so my target table is empty. I am saying in my update strategy that if department number equals to 10, go for insert, otherwise go for reject the other records. So I'll save this, refresh mapping, and I'll start the workflow. 15 records taken from source and only 4 records loaded. If I go and check which are those records, those are the records with department 10. Like this, using some conditions, I can treat the source rows for insert, update, delete. Okay, using my update strategy. So I'm changing the row type. That's why it is an active transformation. So in interviews and all, they will ask you, give some scenarios like, I'm getting some 100 records in my source. I want to load some out of those records. I want to load few. I want to insert few records. I want to update few records, and I want to delete few records. How can you do it? So answer is you can achieve this using update strategy transformation, using dd insert, dd update, dd delete, dd reject. If you get the condition based on what condition you want to insert or update or delete, that condition you can add it in your update strategy. Right now I said based on department number you go and insert. Like that, based on whatever condition they say, you can add that condition in your update strategy expression, and achieve the result. Okay, so this is update strategy. Last thing is, again, this is with respect to interviews only. Then they will, okay, they will give you a scenario. You will say, I will do this with update strategy. Then they will come up with one more question saying, is it possible to update the target table, update or delete the target table without using update strategy? Without using the update strategy transformation, can you update or delete the target table? So we just saw it before using update strategy, right? We can do this. How we can do? So for that, only one requirement is we need to define the key in the target table in Informatica level. So we did that. We went here, we created a key for our target, and then we need to connect the key and the field we want to update in the mapping target. Assume like they told the job is something which has got changed, you want to update, you should update that. Then what you can do in your mapping, so first thing is you need to add a key in your target in Informatica level and in your mapping. So you won't be using update strategy now. So you can just select the, why it is open. You can just select the primary key port and the port which you want to update, which has got changed. You can select these two. Done. Save it. That is the first thing you have to do in your mapping level. We need to define the key in the target table in Informatica level, and then we need to connect the key and the field we want to update in the mapping target. If there are few more columns which are changing, you can select that also. If you feel everything is changing, you can link everything. This is the thing you will set it in your mapping. In the workflow level, now I am not using update strategy. Without using update strategy, I am trying to update a table or a delete a table record. In the session level, we should set the target property as update. That is here in the session level. In my target, as I told you, we will set it as update and check the update checkbox and treat source rows as update. So you have enabled this update as update. Then in the properties, since you are not using update strategy now, you can't use data driven. So you will go and select the treat rows as update. With this setting, you can update the records in Informatica without using update strategy transformation. Okay, so this is purely an interview question. First thing is 4 steps you have to do if you want to update a record without using update strategy. In your Informatica level, go to that particular target, create a key, primary key port. Then in your mapping, connect that primary key and also the ports which you want to update. That is done at the mapping level. In your workflow session, you'll make the treat source rows as update, and in the target, you'll select update as update here. This is for updating. In case if it was for deleting, same thing in the mapping level, no changes. But in the session level, you will select properties treat source rows as delete, and in your mapping target, you will select it as delete here. You will enable delete also, so everything will go for delete. So this is how you can update or delete records in Informatica without using update strategy transformation. So I have added one example also here. You guys can try it out. Let's assume we have a target table customer. Okay, and in that table we have fields like customer ID, customer name, and customer address. Suppose we want to update the customer address. Assume like the customer details was already there in the table. Now his address got changed. So I want to update his new address in my target table. And this has to be done without an update strategy transformation. How can you do it? Then we can define customer ID as primary key in the Informatica level in the target. Then we will have to connect this customer ID and the customer address fields in the mapping from source to target. Then in the session properties set correctly as described above, then that is treat source rows as update, and in the target you enable update as update. Then the customer address will be updated. For all matching customer IDs, it will update the customer address. So the same thing what I showed now, you can try it out with this example also and see. So this they will ask you in interviews how to update or delete records in Informatica without using update strategy transformation. Okay, hope it's clear. This is what I want to discuss about update strategy. These things are sufficient. Let me know if you guys have any queries here. Otherwise, we'll move forward. Any queries, guys? A quick yes, no will help.
That's fine.
Cool. Okay. So next transformation is about lookup. Again, very frequently used transformation and very important transformation. There are so many things to discuss in this transformation. There are so many flavors of lookup transformation, usage of lookup transformation, I can say. And this lookup transformation and update strategy transformations, if we understand, we will be able to understand the implementation of SCDs, SCD type 1, type 2, and type 3, slow changing dimension. So we will go through the lookup, then we'll go to the SCDs. So I won't be covering all the functionalities in lookup now. I will cover only those things which are required to understand SCDs. Once we cover SCDs, then we'll come back to the lookup again to cover the remaining topics. Okay, so maybe for another one more 30 minutes we'll take it to complete lookup transformation with connected and unconnected. Tomorrow we will connect guys so that we can cover SCD type 1 or type 2. So if you guys are okay, we will connect at the same time around 7 o'clock. Okay, tomorrow, that is Saturday. Okay, and this is important topic, so I need at least 2 hours, 2.5 hours to discuss about this. Okay, so tomorrow we'll connect. Make sure you guys are available. Okay, so now coming to lookup transformation. So when can I use a lookup? We can take one example. So I have an employee table here. We have country name to which the employee belongs to. Okay, then we have a target table where we want to load the employee details. Assume like apart from country name, we want to get the country code details also. So I will add a column alter table. I'll just rename it better. Rename department name to country. Okay, and column, I guess. Okay, table altered. So apart from country name, I need to get the country code of that country name. Okay, so we have a table here. So we have a table called country codes where we have the country and its respective country code details. So again, this is kind of a real-time things where we use this lookup transformations and all. So we want to fetch the country code. So this will be kind of a static table which will have the details of all the countries, that is the country name and the country code. Okay. So I want, so this is my source table employee. I will take the country name of each employee, go to this country code table, do a lookup on this table based on that country name, and I'll get the country code. Based on the country name, I'll do a lookup on this table. If there is a match, I'll pick up the country code and then load it to my target. In such situations, we will go for a lookup transformation where I want to do a lookup on a table or a flat file and get the result. In such cases, we go for a lookup transformation. Okay, so we'll see a simple example for this. So hope you guys understood where when we'll go for lookup transformation. Whenever I want to do a lookup on a table or a file, okay, then I'll use a lookup transformation. So in my case now, based on country name, I need to do a lookup on the country codes table and get the country code value. So again, my source is employee table and my target is my target employee table. Okay. Okay, I have renamed one of the column in my target, so I can manually change it. I can otherwise, or I can re-import my target. I am just re-importing it. That my target. Why? So replace, done. I'll save it. Okay. So now my target has a column called country folders. So what I'll do, I'll take all the columns from my source qualifier and send it to my target. So I am left out with country code. I need to get the country code. I know that this country code is in a table called country codes. So based on the country name, I will do a lookup on this table and get the country codes. How can I do it? I'll go to transformations. I'll say create. I'll select lookup. Naming convention is LKP. I'll say country codes. LKP underscore country codes. Now when I say create, it will ask me select the location of the lookup table from where you want to get the lookup table. So that means I can do a lookup on my source, whatever sources are already created in Informatica. I can do a lookup on them. Okay. Then I can do a lookup on my target tables. I can do a lookup on the source qualifiers which I have used. Okay, within the mapping, if I used any source qualifier, I can do a lookup on that particular source qualifier also. Okay, otherwise, now I want to do a lookup on country code that is not there in my source, not there in my target. So then I can import it. If this lookup tables already exist as a source or target, you can do select it. Otherwise, anytime you can go and import it freshly. Like you import the target source, you can do the same thing for lookup, which was it, country codes. Okay, I'll select it, done. Okay, so now I'll take this lookup. So it will show me the ports which are there in that table. So I have only two columns. Those two are listed here in my lookup condition, in my lookup ports. Okay. What I'll do, I'll pass the country name from my source qualifier. Okay. Then I will take the country code from the lookup and send it to my target. Now, if I open the lookup, I have a condition section. Like in joiners we have, I'll select the condition based on what? Country name equals to, I'll just rename this port in underscore country name, the port which we took it from source qualifier, and I'll make it as just an input port so that we are getting only an input from that. So I'll say country name equals to in country name. That's it. So what I'm trying to do, I'm passing the country name of employees to my lookup. In my lookup, I'm trying to get the records where country name equals to incoming employee country name. Wherever there is a match, I'm getting that country code. Okay. If there are multiple records, I want to get it means it's same thing. If you don't want to get the country name from source, you want to get it from lookup only, you can take as many ports. This lookup can return as many ports you want. So I'll save it. Okay. One thing to observe here, in the condition operator, we can use any of these operators based on our requirement. In joiner conditions, we have only equal operator. But here in lookup, we have other than equal, we have less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than, equal to, not equals to. Based on our requirements, we can use anything we want. Then in the properties section, we have so many things to discuss here. As of now, this country codes is the table name, lookup table name is this. Like our source qualifier, we have lookup SQL override also, where I can write a query. So if I say generate SQL, this is the query which will be created. Based on the one second. Based on the ports which I am passing from my lookup transformation to the next level of my pipeline, it will create me a select query, same like your source qualifier. It has selected country code and country name from the country codes table. So you can override this lookup SQL override. That means you can change this default query. assume like your lookup table has some 1 lakh records and you are not interested in all those records. Then you can use a where clause and select only those records which are really required for your lookup transformation. Okay, so you can override this query if you want. What happens is this lookup will create a cache in Informatica, so it is always advised to get only relevant records in your lookup transformation. So you can always override this SQL query and get only relevant records. Okay. Now say okay. I'll save this. My mapping is valid. Okay. And I will refresh my mapping. Save. Refresh. Validate. So if I go to my source, connection strings are there. In my target, I will just truncate the data. For lookup also, we have to provide the connection string name. So here I will go and select the connection string because it has to get the data from that particular table, right? If it is a table, I have to give the connection string. If you are doing a lookup on a flat file, you have to provide the path and the file name. Okay. So I'll say apply. Okay. I'll save it. I'll start my workflow. Got 15 records loaded. Okay, because in the strategy properties, I will make it insert now. Okay, and in the mapping level, okay, that's good. Let me rerun it. Okay, records are inserted. If I go and check it, then yeah, you guys can start the recording. You guys can hear me, right? Hello? Can you guys hear me? Okay, you guys can start the recording. I think Shashi. Shashi, you there? You need to start the recording. Okay. So now what I was doing. Yeah. So yeah. So if you see, I can see the country codes loaded. Okay. So this is how I can use a lookup transformation to do a lookup on a target on table on a flat file or a table and get relevant data. Okay, so arrange all iconic. If we go back to our lookup transformation, so first thing about lookup is it will return null record on no match. In case if there were any countries which didn't match in my lookup condition, then my lookup will return null. That is, it is returning me the country name and country code. These two port values from my lookup will be null. If there are no match, lookup transformation will return me null records. Okay, that is the first thing. For example, how can I tell this? So right now these are the countries. Okay, I will change one of the.
Hello.
Yeah,
Hello.
yeah, go ahead.
Hi. Sandesh, you just now you just now started lookup transformation.
Yes, yes,
Hello. Because see, I
yes.
was disconnected in between. In this lecture, around half an hour. So I have not seen anything, right? So have you started now, or you already started there?
It some 15 minutes over, I guess, on lookup transformation.
Okay. Can we do one thing? Can you give me a quick review for this?
1 second.
Hello.
1 second. 1 second.
Okay.
Okay. So we are seeing one example on when and where we can use a lookup transformation. So this is my employee table. Each employee has a country name to which he belongs. This is my target table where I have to also get the country codes of those countries and load it to the target. So from where I can get these country codes, there is one more static table called country codes where we have all the country names, list of country names and its respective country codes. So from my source, based on the country name of the employee name, I have to go to this table, do a lookup on country name and get its respective country code and load it to my target table. So in such cases, when we want to do a lookup on a table or a flat file, we will be using a lookup transformation. Okay. So what we did, I have taken as employee as a source and my target employee as a target table. I have created a lookup transformation here. Okay. If you want, I can quickly show how to create lookup transformation. You'll go to transformation create. LKP is the naming convention. So lookup country codes. You can go to import here from select and select the table on which you want to do a lookup. If you want to do a lookup on a file, you can say import from a file there instead of relational database. Now I'll take the incoming country name to my lookup. I'll just rename it as in underscore country name, and in condition I'll say country name of the lookup table is equals to incoming country name. If it matches, I will say to return the country code and country name from that lookup table. This is my lookup. I'll refresh my mapping. In your lookup also, you have to provide the connection string name if it is a table. If you are doing a lookup on a flat file, you have to give the path and file name. Okay. Target, I'll say truncate before load. Fine. And I will run my workflow. It is completed. If I go and check my target now, it has loaded me the country codes. How it got the country codes? By doing the lookup on the country code table. Now, so coming back to our image, I said the lookup will return you null values on no match. For example, if you see here, in my source, the employee 7499, Alan, he was belonging to the country called Europe, and this country doesn't exist in my lookup table. So there was no match. Country name Europe is not equals to any of these country codes. So what it returned me in my target is it has returned me null for that particular employee, Alan. So whenever there is a no match, it returns me null values. Okay, that is first thing. Then wherever there was a match, it has returned me its respective country codes. By default, lookup transformation is cached. Again, cache means it is a temporary storage location in Informatica. Whenever we create a lookup transformation, that entire table or flat file on which we are doing a lookup, it will be cached in Informatica. If I go to my lookup properties, you see this attribute lookup caching enabled. It will be enabled by default. So that's why if it is enabled, we call it as a static cache. We'll be seeing what is static cache and all those things. So by default, since this property is enabled, we say by default lookup is cached. Cached means if you want to get the data of that lookup table or a file in your Informatica memory, you can use this property. If it is enabled, it will be cached. The data will be cached. That's the reason I told in your SQL override, you select only those records which you want for your lookup. Don't select unwanted records. You add a where clause in your SQL query and get relevant records so that we are not catching the unwanted records. It will improve your performance. We'll see in detail what is cache, what is static cache, dynamic cache in this lookup later. So by default, at this point, you just understand the lookup transformation is cached. Then lookup transformation acts as a left outer join. This is again an interview question. They will ask you what kind of join does lookup transformation acts as. It is left outer join. Left outer join means select all the records from my left table and matching records from my right table. What we are doing here, we are selecting all the records from my source qualifier, that is my left table, and only the matching country code from my lookup table, that is my right. So it acts as a left outer join. If there are no matches, it won't discard any of my source records. Still it will get the data, but it will be null. That's it. So lookup transformation acts as a left outer join. And it is a passive transformation, but from version 9.x, it can be used as an active transformation by enabling option return all values on multiple match. So if you go to lookup in the properties section, we have attribute called lookup policy on multiple match. Assume like if I had two records for country India, okay, in case if it was returning me two country codes for the same country, that means if there are multiple matches, what am I supposed to do? That I can specify here. Lookup policy on multiple match. In case if there are multiple match, if I say use any value, lookup will randomly pick any one of that. Okay. Or I can say use first value, or I can say use last value. Or if you feel that is not correct, like in my case, there can't be two country codes for a single country. So I can select something called as report error. If it finds any such records where there are multiple match, then it will fail the workflow. It will report error. So these things you can select based on your requirement. Okay. Select first value or last value or report error or use any value. In this will be considered when there are multiple matches. This property was still before the 9.x version of Informatica. If you see while creating the lookup from 9.x, we see this option return all values on multiple match. If I select this, if there are two values, I'll get two records. If there are three values, I'll get three records. I pass one record to the lookup. If this record matches more than one, all those records will be returned. So then it will change the number of record counts. That's why we say from it is actually a passive transformation, but from version 9.x onwards, it can be used as an active transformation by enabling option return all values on multiple match while creating the lookup. So if I select this option and create a lookup now, then in case if there are any multiple matches, it will return all those records. Okay. So this particular lookup, if I go to properties, sorry, which was the one created, this one I created just now. See, this lookup policy on multiple match has been disabled now, because while creating only I told if there are multiple match, select all records. So I can't set it again. So if there are multiple match, multiple records will be returned from my lookup transformation. So it acts as a active in that case. Okay. So these are the very basic things. It returns null on no match. By default, it acts as a cached. That means it will cache the lookup data within Informatica memory. It acts as a left outer join. It is a passive, but from 9.x version onwards, it can act as an active. If I selected this property, return all values on multiple match. Then coming to the types of lookup transformation. Based on connection, I can say there are two types of lookups. One is connected, one is unconnected. And based on cache, I can say there are uncached lookup, cached lookup. Within cache, we have static cache, dynamic cache, persistent cache.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, hi Sandesh.
Yeah, yeah.
My question is, where we are using the lookup transformation, what kind of conditions are there? In that case, we can apply a lookup transformation.
I just told you, right? This is what my lookup transformation. I told you an example. I'm getting a country I'm getting the country name of employees in my source. based on the country name, I need to get the country code. Country name and country code is in one table. So based on the country name, I will do a lookup on this table and I'll get the relevant country code. So this table I used as a lookup in my lookup transformation. I'm passing the incoming country names to that lookup. Whenever there is a match, it will return its respective country code from the lookup transformation. That's what we did till now. Okay. So based on condition, I can say two types of lookups. One is connected and one is unconnected lookup. The one we saw now is a connected lookup. Again, same like stored procedure. We saw connected and unconnected, right? So we say connected since it is part of the pipeline. In a similar fashion, I can use a unconnected lookup also. So we'll see how to use the unconnected lookup maybe in tomorrow's class. So and then we have seen the connected lookup, how to create a connected lookup window. Similarly, we'll see how to use a unconnected lookup. What is the difference between connected and unconnected? When we can go for connected lookup, when we can go for unconnected. That is based on connection. We can say there are two types of lookups, connected and unconnected. Based on cache, I can further divide this lookup transformation into different types. Uncached, then cached. Within cache, we have something called static, dynamic, persistent. Within persistent, there is also a concept called recache. Then shared cache. Within shared, we have named and unnamed. So we'll discuss all these with an example. Okay. So that's why this has lot many topics, and this is very important from an interview perspective and also from your real-time project experience. So if you are working on a project, you will be using this transformation, and if you understand all these caches, then only you will be able to say in what condition which type of lookup it will be useful to use. Okay, so we'll see all these things. Tomorrow we'll continue with the unconnected lookup, and then we will see the difference between unconnected. I will be explaining static and dynamic caches in parallel with SAD types. Okay, so tomorrow maybe for just for an half an hour we will cover the unconnected lookup. Then we'll jump into SAD types. When I explain SADs, I'll explain what is static lookup cache, what is dynamic. Because to implement SAD types, we need this update strategy and lookup. Okay, that's why I have explained those two today. Then we'll come back again to lookup based on caches. Okay, so I think it's fine for today now. So if you guys have any doubts, let me know. Then we will connect tomorrow again on same time at 7 o'clock evening. Okay. Guys, any doubts? Let me know. Jai, if you have any doubts, you can ask. Any doubts, guys?